all for coming for our tutorial today. The purpose of today's meeting is to kind of walk you through the virtual platform, make sure that you are familiar with how to navigate it, how to find the agenda and our sponsors and network, and really make the most of your time at the conference. Just a few housekeeping notes here at the beginning. This session is being recorded so that we can share it afterwards for any of your colleagues who may have missed it today, or if you'd like to reference it later on. We will be pausing throughout the presentation for questions, so please utilize the chat box in the Zoom meeting here to submit any questions you have throughout the presentation. And my co-host Allison will be stepping in to pass any of those questions along to me as we're going through. Also, if you're having any audio issues or visual issues, please drop that in the chat box as well, and Allison will be able to help you troubleshoot. So yeah, as I mentioned today, we'll just be focusing on kind of the three main functions of the virtual platform between the agenda, networking, and sponsor engagement. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I'll start by saying that all of our attendees should have received an email invitation to access this platform this morning. So if you did not receive that invitation, one or two things may have happened. One is that it may have gone to your spam filter. So we encourage you to make sure you check your spam box and look for a message from us that would have come from info@nalhfa.org with your link to log into the platform. Another option may be that for some reason you or a colleague that if you did not get the email may mean that you're not yet registered. So if you never got a registration confirmation, or if you can't seem to find this email in your inbox, please reach out to us at info@nalhfa.org and we will troubleshoot that for you to make sure that you are able to log in. If you did get that email, feel free to go ahead and log in and follow along as I walk you through. So the first thing you'll see here is our homepage. So if I scroll down here, you'll see that we just have a nice recognition to our sponsors for the event, a leaderboard for our game, NALHFA Rewards, which I'll get into a little bit later on, and highlighting our keynote speakers. So this is just a great home base to kind of get you started when you first log into the event. Now, first at the top right here is your navigation for how you'll get to the remaining pages within the platform. So first I'm going to start with the agenda. So if we click on the schedule button here, you'll see that there's three options, and I'm going to click agenda to take me to the main agenda page. So first, when viewing the agenda, there's two different modes to view. What we're looking at right here is list mode, but if I click this button at the top for calendar view, it changes it to a block schedule where you can see our color coding for different tracks and types of sessions throughout the conference. So depending on your preference, you can either choose to view the whole conference this way, or if I click the button at the top here to go back to list view, it's listed out a little bit more cleanly here, in my opinion, where you may be able to click around and see exactly what's happening at each time. And there are tabs at the top to navigate to Thursday or Friday schedules. Other buttons at the top here, one here is export. So if you want to export either the full agenda or the sessions you're saving to your agenda, you can do that here to export and save that to either your Outlook or iCalendar. There's also an option here to print if you wanted to print the agenda, although we will be also distributing a PDF of the conference program that might be a little bit more printer friendly. But if you're in the platform, you'd be able to go ahead and print your agenda here. Now on the right-hand side, you will see that we have a search bar. So this is a great way to search if you're looking for a particular speaker or session that you're looking for, or more importantly is track. So if I click on the track option here, I'll be able to sort by, for example, our single family track, and it will automatically sort to all of the sessions that we have within the single family track throughout the conference. So if you're knowing more specifically what types of subject matters you might be interested in, this is an easy way to sort down to see exactly what you're looking for the full 3 days of the conference. And then to remove that filter, I just click this X right here, and it removes the filter and takes me back to the full conference program. Now you'll see that some of these sessions here have a green check mark next to it. That's because I have saved that session to my personal agenda. So if you haven't saved any sessions yet, you'll see this plus sign option here. So to save a session to your agenda, you would just click this plus sign and it'll change to a check mark to save it to your agenda. To get to your personal agenda, you go to the agenda tab at the top, click My Agenda. And this will filter down to show you exactly which sessions that you have saved to your schedule. So if you don't want to scroll through the entire agenda, you can just use this as your shortcut to find the sessions that you're interested in. Now let's click into a session so we can show you exactly what that will look like and explain how to join a session. So I'm going to start by opening the Welcome and Opening Keynote session. If I click that. Now this is what a session will look like. Really all of the sessions are going to look like when you get there. So in this case, the session is sponsored by Raymond James, so you'll see their logo there. A description would also appear right above the sponsor logo here. And there's a couple different options here that I'll walk through. So this countdown will turn into a box that says join meeting at the meeting start time. So you'll see this is counting down right until that 11 a.m. Eastern start time. So when it turns to 11 a.m., it'll turn into a flashing button that says join meeting. And you will click that button to automatically be added to the session. You will see a video box appear right under the speakers here, or it may pop out a Zoom meeting automatically depending on your Zoom settings. If you are having any troubleshooting issues with audio or visual, there will be a link under the video option that will be appearing right here to pop out your Zoom meeting and troubleshoot that way. But we will be offering live tech support as well in this chat box here. So at the very beginning, if you're having any issues connecting, we'll have staff in this chat box here to assist you. But after that time, this chat box will be primarily utilized by all of our attendees to kind of chat with one another, engage with the content in real time while everybody's watching, and to submit any questions. So our moderators and NALHFA staff will be keeping track of any questions that are submitted in this chat box here to filter those to the speaker. So it's very simple to type a quick message in here and hit send, and then it'll appear in the chat box here. You can also reply directly to messages, start a thread or a conversation on a particular topic. The next tab you see here is polls. So if the speaker has come up with any specific polls that they wanted to ask the audience for their session, those would appear in this tab here. And then next over is files. So again, if the speaker has any handouts or slides that they would like to share ahead of time, those would appear in this files tab here. And then last is the people tab. So this is a list of everybody who has saved this session to their agenda. So I can see many of you have already logged into the platform and started building your agenda. So I can scroll through here and see everybody who has already signed up to attend the session. Last, I just want to call out that there is a notes button at the top here. So if you'd like to take notes while you're in the sessions in the platform, you can just click this note button here and add a note for yourself. These notes can also be exported from the agenda page. So if I go back to the agenda, which is clicking in this top left corner here, under export, there's an option here to download notes. So if you decide to take all of your notes in the platform for the conference, you would just go up here to click download to save all of those to your desktop. And just as a final note that all of our session recordings would be available within 24 hours of the session taking place. So this welcome and opening keynote recording will be available starting Thursday, May 13th. And those recordings will stay available in this platform through August 20th of 2021. So you have about 3 months to be able to go back in the platform and watch any sessions that you may have missed for any reason. The chat box conversation will also be saved with that session. So you'll be able to look back and see what were people chatting about, what questions do they have, things like that. So I think with that, I know it's a lot of information on the agenda. So I will pause there to see if there are any questions from the audience about agendas, navigating the sessions, joining a session, anything we've covered thus far.
Hey Corey, this is Allison. Just wanted to let you know that I don't see any questions in the chat box. So, I stand corrected. Aaron just submitted a question, and it is, can the schedule be exported to Outlook?
Yes, thank you, Aaron. Yes, it can. So if I click export here, I'm going to go ahead and just click export my agenda. And that automatically pops up right down here in my bottom left corner, if you can see that, as a calendar invitation. Oh, yep, and it's prompting me to open my Outlook calendar right away. So yes, it will work for both an Outlook calendar as well as an iCalendar.
All right, looks like the chat doesn't have anything else.
Okay. No problem. All right, well, let's move on then. Our next topic is to focus on some of the networking features of our tool. But again, we can always come back to the agenda. So as folks are sitting and kind of thinking about this, if you come up with any other questions, feel free to go ahead and leave them in the chat and we can definitely go over those. So now we'll start with networking. So the first thing that you might see when you log in is it's probably actually going to prompt you to edit your profile. So you can access this at any time in the top right corner here where you see your name. If I hover over that, you'll all see an option that says edit my profile. So I'm going to click on that. And this is where you can customize your own profile within the platform. So you're able to add a profile picture, you can update your name or email, title, company, anything that may be of interest to you there. You can create some tags for yourself if you want to have any specialties or anything called out for you. Really kind of enhance your profile here to really put a face to the name, as we like to say. And then you will see all of those changes reflected in our People tab. So right next to Schedule is our People tab. So if I hover over that, we'll see that we separate out our speakers and our attendees. So for now, I'm just going to click on Attendees. And this is our full attendee list here of everybody who has registered for the conference. Just to note that this list is able to be exported. So in the top left corner here, there's a button to export people list. So if you click that, it will automatically download, you can see in the top right corner here, into an Excel sheet. So you'd be able to export that and save that as well if you wanted to search. But we do have the same search bar in the top right corner here that you saw for the agenda. So if I click on that, you can use this to also search if you have a specific individual you were hoping to reach out to, or maybe a company that you wanted to see who was coming from that company this time around. But we also have ribbons. So if you wanted to search, for example, to see all of our sponsors who are registered for the conference, I can click the sponsor ribbon and it'll automatically sort. Let's see, there we go. Everybody who has that nice blue sponsor ribbon. So you can see there'll be some individuals that have more than one, if they're also a speaker or a panelist. So you can really sort around and see the different types of folks who are registered to come for the conference. So again, if I click this X right here, it'll remove that filter. So I'm going to go ahead and search for Allison. Another example. And I was able to find her profile right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Allison's profile as an example. So once Allison logs in and adds her profile picture will appear right here. Any ribbons that she has appearing right here. But what I did want to call out is that when you're looking at an individual's profile, you're also able to engage with them directly in two different ways. One is to send them a private message, and another one is to schedule a meeting. So it is a really great and helpful way to network throughout your time at the conference, to be directly messaging individuals. Obviously, you can also engage in the chat box for every session that you attend. But if you really wanted to have a one or a couple person, small group conversation, you'd be able to start one here or schedule a small meeting with people as well. So first, if I click send message, it pops it up right here. I can add individuals to this message if I wanted to. So I can send something to Allison and Jonathan. And I can start a conversation here and click send. Now to schedule a meeting, you'll see this option also appears under the schedule tab here, that there's an option there to schedule a meeting. But while I'm looking at Allison's profile here, I'll click this button to schedule meeting and it takes me to the same link. And again, I can add a new member if I'd like. You can actually have up to 32 people in one meeting, but we recommend keeping it to a smaller number since this will end up creating a specific Zoom meeting for you and your whole team that you invite to this meeting here. So let's say it's just me and Allison, and I will click continue. And now the scheduler tool is going to show me all of the times that we are available or busy during the conference. So it ends up sort of looking like an Outlook calendar if you're trying to schedule a meeting with somebody. So on the left-hand side here, it'll show me all of the times that both of us are available. So I can just go ahead and click a time and give our meeting a name and a description so she knows what we want to talk about. And I can change the duration of the meeting up here too, if I want us to meet for a longer or shorter period of time. And then click send invitation. And once I've scheduled a private meeting with someone, this private meeting will appear on my agenda. So when you're looking at your personal agenda under my schedule here, it'll not just show the sessions that you're attending, but also any private meetings that you've scheduled with anybody. And so now you can see here what our private meeting looks like. And again, it looks and functions just like a normal session. So you see that there's a chat box here and a countdown right at the top right here. So when that countdown reaches 0, it'll have a button that's flashing that says to join the meeting. And then Allison and I will begin our private Zoom meeting with one another. Another way to track your messages and conversations with people is under this Conversations tab here. So if I go to my inbox, this tracks all of my private message threads that I have with individuals. So you can see my note to Allison appears right here. And I can start any new conversations I may want to while looking in my inbox here as well. We also have a social media page. So for folks during the conference who are tweeting using our hashtag NALHFA21, your tweets will be featured here on our social media wall. So we are definitely encouraging engagement throughout the conference on Twitter to share your experiences and learnings throughout the conference. So you can be prominently featured in our social wall. Now, the next tab over here that I wanted to touch on is our NALHFA rewards. So you had seen the leaderboard on the homepage of our platform earlier in the presentation, but this is essentially our gamification throughout the week. So we're going to be encouraging folks to be networking with one another and engaging with one another and earning points to win some prizes. So our grand prize winner is going to receive a complimentary registration and 3-night hotel stay to the NALHFA 2022 conference in New York City. And our next 2 winners after that will receive a comp registration. So you may have just watched this update in real time. So this is a real-time update as folks are clicking around and engaging in the platform. You can see a list of activities here with points assigned to each of them. So you'll see that there's a lot of weight given to actions where you're encouraged to engage with one another, engage with our sponsors, requesting private meetings and sending private messages. We really want to create that environment of feeling like you're having the same conversations that you would sort of in that in-person environment. And then if I'm going to go back to the agenda here for a minute, we do have a couple items on the schedule here that are some special kind of networking activities that we wanted to highlight for everyone as well. One is our coffee with sponsors. So I'll get into more of the details of sponsor engagement next in our orientation here. So I'll hold on that, but you'll see that there is a coffee with sponsors time each day in the agenda. We are also hosting a mixology class at the end of the day on Wednesday. So if I scroll down here at 5:15 on Wednesday, we're hosting a really fun mixology class where you can learn some recipes for some really popular cocktails or mocktails, and kind of a nice way to relax and unwind at the end of a long first day of the conference. Then shortly after that on Thursday, if I click on Thursday here, we will have our award ceremony, an annual business meeting. So please make sure you don't miss out on that and engaging in the chat with everybody there to recognize those award winners. And as I said, we'll be encouraging conversation really every day throughout every session here in this chat box here within each session. So make sure that you are, don't feel free to be shy. You can feel free to message everybody here, reply to messages, and really keep the conversation going, whether that's just questions or, reflecting on any points that you found to be interesting in the presentation. So that is a snapshot of our networking opportunities. So before I go into the specifics of our sponsor hub here and engaging with sponsors, are there any other questions, Allison, that have come through the chat?
Nope, Corey, it looks like everyone is, just soaking in your information, and I don't see any additional questions. But again, as Corey's mentioned, feel free to chat us and we can answer all your questions that you might have. I know it's a lot, so feel free to take it in.
Yes, yeah, there's a lot of really good stuff in here. So please feel free to digest, click around yourself. We really encourage everybody to start getting involved with the platform early before the first day of the conference, just to work through any of those kinks if you have any issues.
Corey, we actually do have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, from Don, it said, what are tags?
Sure, that's a great question. So tags can kind of be customized to whatever you want to use them for. So if I go back to under people, I'm going to go back to attendees here. So ribbons and tags are considered two different things in this platform. So ribbons are what you'll see directly under somebody's name here. And that's sort of just to note at a high level, if somebody is a speaker, if someone is a sponsor, if someone's a panelist, kind of just thinking about that of, if you're at the in-person conference and someone has one of those color ribbons under your badge, just kind of replicating that same feature. But tags are kind of a unique way if you wanted to kind of make those your own and customize them. So if I'm going to the search bar here, let's see if anybody has created a tag so far. Yeah, so it looks like there's a bunch of different tags already made here. So there's some for if you wanted to call out that you're a NALHFA member, or maybe what state you're from. So I see some Tennessee folks, Utah. So you can feel free to add those yourself too. Or maybe if you wanted to specify your area of interest. So I see someone created a multifamily tag here that people can start utilizing as well, if that's a specific subject matter you're interested in. So we really encourage folks to kind of make this their own. So you can utilize tags in whatever way you think makes sense to kind of help identify you and call you out. So yeah, feel free to have some fun with that one. We wanted to be able to make it maybe not so structured and give you all a little bit of flexibility as our attendees.
Awesome. Thanks, Corey. So it looks like we're good to move along. No other chats yet, but I'll keep you posted.
Awesome. All right. Well, I realized before I move on to the sponsor hub, one last comment that I forgot to mention earlier is that on the first day of the conference at 10:30 Eastern time, which is about 30 minutes before our opening keynote session, we do have an attendee system check that I will be running, which is basically your opportunity to log into the platform and test how to join a session. So this can kind of be another way too, if you all wanted to kind of network with one another before the opening keynote begins. Feel free, we'll probably have some, impromptu conversations going in the chat box here and allowing folks to come on and make sure they're able to watch a session, they're hearing everything, Zoom's working, making sure that you're all kind of good to go for the conference there. So just another opportunity that I wanted to make sure to highlight. But I wanted to make sure that another big area, component of the conference obviously is networking with our sponsor partners. So we wanted to really make sure that we dedicated time to review that. So you'll see on each day of the conference, we kick things off with time that we're calling Coffee with Sponsors. So if I click on that, it's going to take me directly to our sponsor hub, which you can also get to by clicking this tab in your navigation here at any time during the conference. So this is a list of all of the sponsor partners who are participating at the conference. So first you'll see they're all sorted by their sponsored level and then by alphabetical order. So I'm just scrolling down here, but you can also always use our search bar at the top here. Again, same place that you've seen it for the agenda and for people, to be able to sort, search by name if there's a particular company you're looking for, and of course tags. So again, we have some tags that are specific to our sponsor partners as well that they're able to customize to call out any specialties that they may have. So for the sake of an example, I'm going to open our NALHFA booth right here. So if I click the tile here for a booth, it's going to take me to, in this case, the NALHFA booth. So first off, of course, you'll see that there's some custom branding available here, a description for each company. And then underneath this description, they may have some videos or files that they're choosing to highlight that you would see listed right there, as well as links to their website, our social media platforms, any other links that the company chooses to share. These files and videos can also be found, of course, on the right-hand side here under Files. So the good news is that, you know, kind of whether you're in a session or whether in your private meeting or in an exhibit booth, a lot of this formatting looks the same and is pretty familiar to you. So I think once you join your first session, you'll be able to kind of get the hang of it and see some consistency throughout the platform. So for example, this first tab here where the chat box is for a session is called Conversation. So your sponsor partners or you as an attendee are able to go in and start a conversation with our sponsors here. So again, I can give it a subject, a message, and click send. And it'll appear right here. And then folks can either reply, they can like it, and they can kind of engage with it in a couple different ways right here on the homepage of the booth. You also see at the very top the staff people listed for that booth, but they also appear here on the staff tab. So you can see who is registered from that company. And again, if I click this files tab, this is a listing of all of our files that we've made available here in the virtual, in the booth for NALHFA. And then polls, again, similar to sessions, if the sponsor has created any polls that they're trying to gather from our attendees, those would live in this tab right here. Now, since I'm in the NALHFA booth as a staff member, I don't see this button. So I'm going to click out of this and click into a different booth just to show you this button right here, which says leave your card. So if you are looking at information from a particular company and you're interested in learning more about their products or services, one way that you can share your contact information with them is to click this button here to leave your card. This would be the equivalent of dropping your business card at a booth in person. It's sharing your contact information with them, and it's letting them know that you are interested in learning more about their products or services. Now, of course, the best way to probably do that is also by engaging during our coffee with sponsors at the beginning of each day. So that's what this countdown is at the top right here. So let me go back to our NALHFA booth. I will just show
Corey,
you.
this is actually a great time. Now that you're back in the NALHFA booth, we do have a question. I figured I'd just jump right in. Erin asked another great question. How do we add videos?
Sure. So this is a brief detour, so I apologize to any attendees here who are not a sponsor, but just to touch on that very briefly, if you are a sponsor, you will see a manage button here for your booth. So that's why I had to click out to see leave your card. But if I'm the staff person for this booth, I'll just click this manage button right here. And this takes me to the back end of my booth where I'm able to customize all of that information you just saw. So videos would live under content assets right here. So I would click content assets and click this button here to add a video. And one thing I'll just note too is that, so if I scroll down for our files, you'll see that there's a star icon next to each one. If you want your video to be embedded on the booth, just under your description there, as I was describing, you just want to make sure that you star next to that video, and that'll make sure that it's appearing right under your description on the main page. Awesome. All right. So for all of our attendees who are here and are looking to engage with our sponsors and talk to them more about their products or services, we do have this dedicated exclusive time from 9 to 11 Eastern every day, but this will be available throughout every day throughout the conference as well. So if you, during a break time, if you wanted to come by and try to chat with an exhibitor, you can always come to these booths at any time to engage with their information. But this 9 to 11 window every day is really kind of our main targeted time to engage in those conversations. So what that will look like is, again, when this countdown reaches 0, you will see a button, and this button is actually going to say talk now. So if I click that button, it's going to automatically call one of the staff people. It kind of goes in a round robin fashion, starting with the first one, trying the second one, and the third, depending on who was available. And so once someone answers your call, then you'll be connected one-on-one in a private Zoom meeting with that staff person. So then you'll be able to speak with them directly. You can turn your mic and camera on, or there'll be a chat function as well if you'd rather engage that way and talk one-on-one with that staff member from the company. You'll also see a link under each person that will say, call me now, so that you can also, if you only wanted to call me or Allison, You could just click that link under that person to call them to see if they're available. Now, the key to see if someone is available is I'm going to turn myself on, and now you see that I have a green check mark. So for any of our sponsor staff who are on this call here, again, I have this little toggle at the top that you should all see as well that says available for talk now. So if I toggle that on, that's going to give me a green check mark, and that's going to be how our attendees will know that you're available to receive calls. So attendees, if you're looking at a booth and you see, Corey has a green check mark, that means that Corey's available right here, right now. If you click that button to talk now, you can immediately begin a conversation with Corey about whatever topic that you're interested in. So this is a really great way to, get those answers in real time and get that engagement in real time. And again, our sponsors are going to be able to turn themselves on at any time throughout the day as well. So if you happen to drop by a booth, during a 3 o'clock break, and you see that someone has a green check mark on, you can feel free to click that Talk Now button and engage with them at that time as well. Or if you want, you can schedule a private meeting with them at a different time by just clicking on their profile. So if I just click Michaela's name here, it takes me directly to her profile, and I can schedule a meeting with her this way as well. So there's plenty of different ways that you can do that, but I think that this is just a really great tool. If you're in real time watching a video and reading about a company and you have a question, you can call them immediately, you can drop it in their conversation, you can leave your card with them so that they can come follow up with you later. There's just a lot of different options sort of available to everybody there. So again, I will pause there and see if there's any questions before I wrap things up.
I'm not seeing anything new over here in the chat box, but maybe we should give everyone just a minute to kind of gather their final thoughts and see if there's anything that's left outstanding.
Sure. So yeah, as everyone's coming, collecting their thoughts to think of final questions, I just wanted to highlight a couple help related FAQ items in case you do need any technical support during the conference. So one is that if I hover over my name again at the top here under Edit My Profile, everybody will see an option for system check. So this is a quick way to just check your browser each morning just to make sure that you are good to go and won't have any issues throughout the conference. Then we also have created a help tab here, so you can anytime you can reference our FAQs. We even have a separate FAQ for our sponsors. So if you're trying to build out your booth, you can reference your FAQ here. We also have our code of conduct, and then of course, tech support. So if I click that, it pops open a chat box here that you can talk directly with the tech team at Pathable. That's the name of our virtual platform. And they'll be able to assist you there. But again, we will have staff in every session and manning our info@nalhfa.org inbox. So you'll see that linked in a lot of places. If you have questions, you can always reach out to that as well. So those were kind of my last points I wanted to end on, just in case you have any technical issues or questions throughout the conference. But with that, I will open it up to any and all questions that we have.
Yeah, Corey, we actually have one in the chat box from David. He asked, how do tags work, and are they like hashtags?
Yeah, so I would say they're not exactly like hashtags. I would say tags are more about kind of custom to how you would like to be identified. So if someone's looking at your profile in the platform here, what do you want them to know about you, aside from the fact that maybe you're an attendee or you're a sponsor? What else would you like them to know? So this can mean a variety of things. So some people are going to interpret this in a professional manner to say, maybe I specialize in multifamily. So you might select the tag to say that's my specialty. Or there were some tags here about geographic region that I saw some people creating. So if you wanted to join the group to say, hey, yep, I'm from New Mexico, you'd be able to select that tag there. Go. And pull up, everybody who's identified as that tag from like maybe the New Mexico region. Or yeah, I see another one here for small business owner. That's another great option as well if you wanted to call that out about yourself. So I think it can really be, so if I click on Aaron as an example here, thank you, Aaron, for being our example. You can see that it differentiates in his profile here that he has sponsor as a ribbon, but then he's added several other tags at the bottom here to call out other things that he would like attendees to know if they're looking for more information about him. So I would say there are no hard and strict rules about tags. It can really kind of be whatever you like to make it. If you want to go more fun, professional, really kind of have at it. It's a nice kind of fun way to add some customization within the platform.
Awesome. Thanks, Corey. It looks like that is all for the chat box that I'm seeing right now.
All right, well, I'm going to hang out for an extra couple minutes here in case anybody has any other additional questions that they'd like to review today. I know we're also available at any time as the NALHFA staff, so please don't hesitate to reach out to us anytime between now and May 12th. We are here to help you, but we definitely encourage you again to please click around, start building your agenda. You can start sending messages to folks now and scheduling meetings now with people. So I would say the earlier you're getting in there and clicking around, definitely the better your experience will be during the conference dates. All right, well, again, I'll stick around if there's any final questions, but otherwise, thank you everybody so much for attending today. And we can't wait to see you live on May 12th. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
No problem. Thanks, everybody.
Looks like we're getting a lot of love in the chat. So thank you everyone for coming.
Mm-hmm.